Hey, what's going on out there? Y'all know what time it is, man. 95 North Sports Machine Crew. Pop-up show, man. Quick pop-up show, man. It was something that was concerning us that we were talking about, and we decided to just share it with y'all right quick, man. And
Oh
if y'all
yeah.
looking at the thumbnail and y'all looking at the title of the video on my channel or Chris channel or Alberto's channel, y'all know we talk about the linebacker core, which is right now something that we need to fix as Atlanta Falcons. Um, what's up, Big John? Um, I've been quiet because I'm disgusted at this up and down bullshit every day. Cool got one job, he can't get it right. I agree with that to a certain extent, John. It is frustrating. It's frustrating. Um,
Hey man.
William Amy, what's good, man? But
Dude.
let's get into talking about these linebackers, man, because this is something that is bothering all of us, and we're gonna keep it real like we always do. Um, the linebackers they got to play better, man, and it's not even all of their fault. It's coaching. You have Rashawn Evans on the roster, and I feel
Yeah.
like Rashawn Evans should have got some playing time. But before
Yeah.
we get into that, man, right quick, man, tell the people what's up.
Hey man, what's going on, man? Gotta move on to Denver, y'all. I'm saying it's time to go ahead and move past Sunday. I know it's frustrating because it's still a bad taste in the mouth, but we gotta move forward because we still got a division to win. We still have, a conference to move up in. So, it's other things we have to start worrying about. The Aints, they got that on Sunday. Let them have it. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still going to get the division as long as we stay focused. Yeah, definitely understand you though, Big John, about being frustrated though. It was a frustrating loss. It was a bad loss, but got to move forward.
Yeah, Ralph, I agree, man. You got to let Evans play, man. You got to
Mm-hmm.
remember, just 2 years ago, he played at the Pro Bowl level with the Falcons. Yes, they have new defensive coordinators, but a lot of these players he's familiar with, so I think he can come in and he can help right away. They have him on the roster, the practice squad, so why not get him going? We finna show y'all the
Right.
list. The Falcons are a linebacker room right now, and this is what we're going to talk about right quick. And if y'all looking on the screen, you'll see the red marks, the yellow marks of questionable. Well, honestly, the yellow, I think it stands for, just
They
not
they ain't
active.
active. Yeah, they just
But
not
if
active.
you look at the defensive line, you see Taquan Graham went out with a pectoral injury the other day. We don't know how
Yeah.
that's going to be, but usually pectoral injuries, they end seasons and sometimes careers depending on how severe they are. You see
Yeah.
James Smith Williams on the outside who backs up Matthew Judon. He's in red.
Upper body injury. Upper
And
body
what
injury is
usually
what they
that's
call it
supposed to
him.
mean.
And I don't know. I've never really seen that. I don't know if anybody in the chat have seen like somebody just being out with an upper body injury. But
Right.
yeah, Smith Williams, he got to get reevaluated. I absolutely detest that word reevaluate in sports because of course you just don't know what is going to be the outcome of it. And it could be out longer than what you expect. So yeah, Smith Williams and TQ Graham possibly being out. Then you also had Troy Anderson go out because he
Right.
re-aggravated his knee. So
And
that's
and,
another thing
and,
you gotta start looking at.
and honestly, bro, I question whether he's healthy or not because um
Mhm.
honestly, when you suffer a knee injury, um I'm just thinking that they didn't evaluate him properly. Maybe he has a slightly torn Achilles, I'm sorry, ACL, MCL, PCL. But something is going on with that knee, and that's the same knee he aggravated last year that made him miss time, along with that shoulder injury. So is he going to be one of those guys that's injury prone, and his career is going to slowly slip away because of injuries? Because it's starting to look that way.
Man,
We
yeah,
know
hope
he's a
not.
former. We know he's a former quarterback, so he's taking his fair share of hits before switching to linebacker. So you have to wonder: is Troy Anderson ever going to become that player that we drafted him to be? It's very exciting to see. But
Reasonable question.
um,
That's a reasonable concern.
Bag
Yeah.
Bag said, "What's up, fellas? I've been said. I don't like our linebacker room. The overall grade for them is a C minus. Evans is the best linebacker we got, and we don't even play him. We should have went and got Devin White from Philly. I agree with that 100%. And Rashawn Evans, 2 years ago, I think he had 150 tackles. If I'm not mistaken. Close to
Uh, something like
two
that.
sacks. 2 sacks. I remember that part. And he defended about 2 to 3 passes, forced fumbles. He just all over the field. And to me, he should have been a Pro Bowler that year. But you got guys like Fred Warner in the NFC and those type guys that
Then we
prevented him
were a
from being
bad
a Pro Bowler.
team. You know, they factored that in.
Right. So Rashawn Evans, they signed him back on the practice squad twice. I just feel like they need to find some way to get him on the field. Because as somebody said, Caden Ellis is not a middle linebacker, and I agree with that.
Put
And
him on
I
on
think
the
Bag
edge.
said that as well. Caden is not a sitting caller, in my opinion. Troy and Landman, all three take too many false reads, miss too many tackles, lack of pre-snap reads and
Mm,
pre-snap communication. As you saw with Caden Ellis, he was doing his best as a pass rusher. You saw it
right.
with the three where he had 6 pressures against Dak Prescott, and almost had a sack. And he was disrupting the game from that perspective. So I feel like they should have kept using him in that angle, but they did not. They went back to put him in the middle. Nate Lamb, as you said, can't cover. And he's missing way too many reads because they're just throwing over his head, and he's just lost in translation for some reason.
I think it's
So
the scheme. I think
yeah,
it's the
I
scheme with
mean,
Nate. He just
yeah, I
not
mean,
fitting
come on.
in. He just not fitting in. You can tell he's a step slower. You can tell he's that downhill thumper. You know, that's his game. And you can tell he's like a step slower. Like Bag said, he's missing reads. They really are taking advantage of Nate sometimes out there. If it's just not straight on, it's a play over the head.
And we all know, sometimes scheme fits everything, man. Because if you think about it, Nate Lamont is a 4-3 linebacker, and we're not playing 4-3. We're a 3-4 team, and don't get me wrong, some linebackers can play either or. But he's not one of those guys. Just like we had Deion Jones before he went downhill, when they tried to switch him over as a 3-4 linebacker, he was way too small.
Mhm.
So there is a guy out there that just got released by the Seattle Seahawks,
Yes, sir.
Tyrell Dotson, who
Tyrell Dodson.
71 tackles for the Seahawks. And I'm gonna give
Mhm.
y'all my input on that after this video. But quick reading, man, 71 tackles this year. He was
Yep.
doing his thing in Seattle. I don't know what went on um, in Seattle,
You
but he
you
got
gotta
cut.
wonder. You gotta
He was
wonder
at
what the
on
heck happened. Man. It is
he
a little weird because he was one of their best line linebackers. 2 sacks. Had had a forced fumble, a couple pass defenses. It's like QB hits, tackles for loss. He had it all. He had all the numbers for him, and you may wonder what happened with that. Maybe just some dysfunction between the player and the coach. But I say, hey man, we need depth at linebacker. I say you can actually pick up the phone and go get Terrell Dotson. What you say though, Smitty?
Hey, I'm all for it, man. Because as I said, with Rashawn Evans, if y'all not gonna play him, go find somebody else. He
Right.
Tyrell Dodson actually is on a 1 year, $4 million deal with the Seattle Seahawks. So if you bring him in, he'll probably be right around the vet minimum. He's been
Mm-hmm.
in the league for a while, so and he played on an aggressive Buffalo Bills defense before going to Seattle this year. And he actually had
Right.
a career year in 2023 with the Bills, which is why he went to Seattle to get another contract. But I think honestly, at this point, you got to try something. And
Right.
Tyrell Dotson, he can also get after the quarterback. He's had 2 sacks this year, so that right there is reason enough for me to believe that they can actually go get him and use him any way, shape, fit, or form. Because, like I said, if you look at the depth chart, Rashawn Evans is the third string linebacker, middle
Right.
linebacker, which he probably slips
Special
into
teamer.
the backup. He slips into the backup with JD Bertrand still dealing with that concussion. and
Yeah,
we don't know how bad that concussion is. That could be season ending as well,
he's
because the
already
closer we
missed
get to
his
the back,
game.
right, the closer we get to the end, the back end of the schedule, that's going to become more of a concern. So you have to um use Rashawn Evans. And
Right.
if you want to use D'Angelo Malone, honestly, he could be a middle linebacker. He can cover. He's fast. So if you
Mm.
want to use him as a coverage linebacker, you can. You got to figure out some to switch this thing up. But Chris,
I
I
mean,
know
you
you
got to
talked
see what
about it,
you got.
man. Tell us
What's
right
that?
quick about Brandon Dorless and why he has to play.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're not going to be able to hide him anymore. Whatever the reason why he's not played on this team, I mean, get a guy on the field so far, you're not going to be able to hide him. TQ Graham, if he misses time, Dorless is right behind him. So you can play Catavia Street, but I believe that Brandon Dorless is still going to have to get some snaps moving forward. And it'd be funny if he comes in and actually be productive. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, the man was already generating pressures in college. The man can be moved all up and down the line. Let's see. We go back weeks ago. We were saying we got to see what we got. This is the same situation. You got to see what you got. And it's also guys that's being released that you possibly can bring in. I mean, the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks has a relationship with Dan Quinn and the Falcons before. So,
Right.
man, what to do and everything. So
What's
it's
up,
just
K
like
Styles?
you need to make this linebacking core more formidable. And right now we're falling apart. We're starting to get these injuries. You got to see what players you have because you have no choice. Trade
Right.
deadline over with. You got to roll what you got.
And you invested a fourth round pick in him. And fourth
Cool.
round picks are not, they're not project guys. They're guys that you feel like you can bring in, develop, like you said, and make an impact. He hasn't even saw a snap this year. He's been stuck
Right.
on the practice field. So as I've been saying, I feel like US should at least put him on the field. He played in preseason. I think he only played one game in preseason, but I feel like you
And
should put
Brandon
him on the
Dorley
field and
did
see what he
well
can
in
do.
preseason.
Right.
Like,
So
he did
I
well
mean,
in preseason.
sometimes you cannot put a mark on a player just because of what they do in practice. Put them on the field, see what they can do, and then you evaluate them from there and see how you can help them fix and their technique and what you feel like they're not doing correct. Because
Right.
one thing about it, I just feel like technique wise, I guess something is off. But we
Yeah.
saw the college tape, and I guess their scouts saw the college tape as well, and they felt like it was good enough for them to invest in him. So now that
Right.
he's in the NFL, you mean to tell me the coaches can't coach this guy up to make plays, coach this guy up to
Uh,
catch up to
if it's
NFL level of the game? Go ahead.
Smitty, if it's a playbook issue, if it's only like a set of, let's say, plays, a set of plays that he understands, hey man, throw him out there for those set of plays. Because again, you still have to see what product you have moving forward. If
Right,
you look at the Falcons, like just their roster and the contracts, a lot of these guys are on 1 year deals, prove it deals. Some of these guys may not even be back. A lot of these guys honestly may not be back next year. So I mean, regardless,
right.
you have to see if you already have your replacement or if you're going to have to be able to make a move in the offseason. Says K Style says so y'all think Trice injury hurt some of some of their defensive plans, and I do think
Absolutely,
so. Yeah,
200%.
absolutely, right.
And I think honestly,
Lorenzo Carter
K
wasn't
Style,
going to be here.
right.
Zoe Carter was not going to
Honestly
be
though,
here.
I think not only him affecting what we have going on now, but I think this will be effective in our draft plans next year. I keep hearing people say we need to draft an edge rusher with the first round pick next year. I don't think we will, simply because you still have Elbaketi on the contract. You could bring Brett Smith Williams, um, D'Angelo Malone, these guys, but I think offensive line is actually going to be out picking the first round next year, because as I look at it, I'm looking at Jake Matthews long
Jake
in the tooth.
Matthews.
Caleb McGarry is inconsistent, and they could scrap that contract and get 11 million off of that. So I think actually offensive tackle is going to be our pick. But when Braden Trice coming back and showing what he did in the preseason before he got hurt, that was a enough of a sign that hey, we might have something here. And also in Washington, I think Jimmy Lake coached him up. So there's
Mm,
familiarity right there. So I
right.
think he comes back. They could still take an edge rusher next year, but I think it may be in the second or fourth or seventh, or they trade back and try to get more picks and pick one. But I actually think the first pick this year and next year's draft is probably going to be offensive line. But that's just the way I see it. But
You know, it's
Brandon
gonna be some
Price,
people in the uproar about that now, Smitty.
that's
You're gonna be
true.
like
But
another
hey,
offensive
what can
player.
you do? But what can you do? What can you
Hey
do?
man,
I mean,
you
that's
got to
how
go
he's
get your
showing us.
needs.
That's how he's building his team. Hey, that's what he does. But if you think about it too, um, we've talked about these first tier, second tier edge rushers. What if the
Yeah.
Falcons strike a deal for one of those top edge guys, and then you get Braden Trice back? And hey, it could work out that way. But look, I'm telling you, offensive line is going to be probably the main thing to talk about. Come this off season because of those bookends. One is aging and other is inconsistent. That's not going to work. You have
My
Bergeron, you
okay.
have Chris Lindstrom, and you have
You're right.
Dalman in the middle. But after
Right.
those three guys on those bookends, what do you do after that?
And speaking of Dolman, because I know the Falcons had some time to actually activate him, he hasn't been fully activated. My thing is, do you think that we'll see Drew Dalman this week, or do you think that they'll wait until after the bye to possibly bring him back?
Honestly, man, with the injured guys, I would just go one more week and let them heal up this
Mhm.
game, and then go into the bye week. Let them rest up, and then after the bye week, with that key stretch that we going on the back end of the schedule, I would bring those guys back. But honestly, man,
That's what I would
with Dolman, yeah, I would wait, just like I said about
I
the
mean,
other guys. But our guy
yeah,
T Will from
he
One Time for
will.
the Fan, man, joining us, man. These linebackers, man. T Will, tell us what you think about this linebacking core right fast.
Well, they have talent. I'm assuming we're talking about the Falcons linebacking core, correct? Is that what we're
Correct.
this? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you. First off, I love me some Caden Ellis. Let me put that out there. Caden
Okay.
is, I think he's that dude, man. Love me some Caden
Okay.
Ellis. Uh, Troy Anderson seems like he just can't really get healthy. Like from my understanding, he re-injured his knee. He had a great game. The game he got injured, and then he came back. And I don't know if he came back a little too fast. I don't know. Landman is okay in some areas, not so great in others. But I mean, all in all, you could do worse from a linebacking core. You could do worse. There are some that are better, but there are a lot that you know, so uh
Seems like Tyrell Dodson off the market, Chris.
Ah, come on, man. See, that's what happens, man. That's what happens. All right, so scratch the Tyrell Dotson thing because that's off the table now. So now moving forward, you're definitely going to have to play with what you got. My goodness, like who is even on the practice squad? Do we have any guys on the practice squad that can play linebacker? I don't believe so, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Um, this is
oh
this
boy.
is crazy, man. This is getting real
Well,
thin at
Rashawn Grant is on the
linebacker.
practice squad.
Yeah, I'm
You
cutting
said
out,
who?
guys. I don't know if it's me.
Um,
Rashawn Grant is actually on the practice squad, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
mm,
So are we talking
okay.
replacements for Troy Anderson? Is that what we're talking
No,
now?
we're just talking to the linebackers in general. You see
Right.
in the red, you see the linebackers that are out with injury. So we're just, giving them an update of how that gonna look. And people in the chat they're following along, and they giving us their thoughts, and we just flowing off them.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay. No worries.
But yeah, man, it's just
So
okay. And there that goes though.
Right.
Man,
Troy's
Dolphins,
out,
y'all didn't
obviously.
need him.
Y'all
Oh
got to get it
wow.
together.
What we're 15th on the depth list as far as um folks that are on that. What do you call the list? I'm sorry. When you got the waiver wire, we're 15th on that,
Uh,
correct?
Right. Halfway down
okay.
the
The
list.
waiver wire. Yeah, so it's by suckiest team to best team, right? Or worst record to best
Correct.
record. So we're 15th, which
Um,
I guess it is a lot of teams that are 6-4, a lot of teams that are, so I could see that. But yeah, a
well, the
lot of these
Dolphins, they
guys, if
like
they're on the waiver,
3-6.
but they'd be higher. So the Dolphins would be higher, right?
Right.
The Dolphins would be higher than us as far as order. So that makes sense, right? In other
One second.
words, so when you have a transaction on the waiver wire, it's gonna go suckiest first, right? Gosh, this thing. Can you guys see me? Because StreamYard is streaming right now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, I
hear
can
you
hear you.
guys.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, maybe it's me. Maybe it is me.
I mean, he coming through loud and clear.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna drop out and try and come back in because I can't hear
Okay.
you guys.
Okay. But yeah, that's the thing about the waiver wire, man. It's first come, first served. The people with the worst record,
Yeah.
they get first
You guys
dibs.
there?
But
Maybe it's me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. With
kick him out and
T
let him
Will
come
down
back
there
in.
having technical difficulties, but yeah, man. Like you just said though, bro. It is. I know how it goes. I was just saying Dolphins didn't need him. It'd have been nice if the Falcons could have been able to claim him and add him to this depleted linebacking core that we see this unfolding right in front of our face, man. We just getting folded up, and we already knew that the linebacking core was weak coming into the season. So us content creators already looking at it like, hey, it ain't the most scariest linebacking core you see in the NFL. Especially with the lack
Camel
of
is in
depth.
San Francisco. He not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I mean, you could have gave up a 7th rounder for Preston Smith, but whatever. Um, I don't want to go back to
Yeah.
really the trade deadline, honestly, because it's over and done with. And honestly, belly aching about it now. It does nothing for us, and especially for the fan base. So I'm not going to go back to that. But still, you're going to have to try to see what you can dial up. Now, veteran experience on the defense is going to be even more key with pieces missing like this. You know what I'm saying? I believe that Jerry Gray needs to have more input on these next coming games with guys missing to have help having guys in position for a young defensive coordinator like our guy Jimmy.
T Will, you back?
T Will look like he froze.
Yeah, I did freeze. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me?
I mean, we hear you loud and clear right now. See you loud and clear too. Well, see you
Yeah.
clearly.
Okay. The rain is gone. I got it. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So who else is out there? Oh, how the hell does Dante Fowler have 8 Fowler? Yeah, I saw that.
Coaching,
That's
coaching,
Coaching
putting them
all
in the
about
right
system.
position.
He
scheme, I guess.
fits.
Scheme.
Yeah.
Hey, are you guys having issues scheming the streaming the YouTube?
Sometimes.
Uh,
Sometimes mine
every
don't
now.
even. Sometimes mine don't even. It doesn't connect. So yeah.
Yeah. Today it says we're having trouble streaming to YouTube. This may be an issue on YouTube's end. We'll keep
Yeah,
trying. If it's resolved. So all right, I'm just
that
gonna.
happened to me yesterday with Ryan's stream.
Okay. I'm just gonna remove it.
Yeah,
Say,
just let it go.
just let it go and walk away, brother. That's what you gotta do sometimes, That's what you gotta do.
Right. But
But
T
speaking of
Will, I want
Dante
to know
Fowler,
I
man,
want to know a question.
right quick,
What you got
right
to
quick,
say?
Chris. Speaking of Dante Fowler, Dan Quinn coached Dante Fowler, and he did a good job with him. But the thing with it, we didn't have the right personnel. As we've been talking, man, you got to have size up front. and that's
Right.
exactly what the Washington Commanders have. They have size up front. They have somebody opposite him, and they have guys that are hungry and want to fight. And with a rookie quarterback, that lets you know uh, we dogged Dan Quinn, but it wasn't all Dan Quinn's fault from the jump. It was personnel, and now it's the same problem, personnel again. So until we get the right personnel on the field, we're going to keep having the same problems because personnel has to have chemistry, and they have to be fluid, have to have rhythm, and we just don't have that. So hopefully, it get fixed.
Yeah. I mean, we already knew it was too small up front, man. We knew that
T
already.
Will, Country said, can you
Oh,
look at one of those screens and let me know if the hot light on at Krispy Kreme, Marietta?
You know what? You know
there
what,
you
Country?
have it.
I just left Krispy Kreme. You good to go, brother. I ain't even got to look on the screen. I brought some
I know.
some
Since
Krispy
y'all said that,
Kreme on
I'm on
my
my way up there. I'm on
hey
my way up there as soon as I get off this stream.
ain't
Man, what
nothing
the
wrong with
hell
that.
is going on?
It just
I
went
tell you
left
what.
quick.
I tell you what. When y'all two go to Krispy Kreme, Big Low and Smitty, when y'all go to Krispy Kreme, ask them if they got any linebackers back there for me.
How about that? How about that?
Yeah,
So
ask them
who
they
do you
got any
who, who do you
linebackers
guys
back.
think who do you guys think is starting this week for the Falcons linebackers?
Probably Ellis and Lammy. I'm thinking, but
Oh, definitely.
like I've said, I'm pretty
Evans.
sure I would love to see Evans.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, and so Evans has been in the house for what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah, he played special teams, I believe, this past week, and I know he played special teams against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
But that's
he's
all
been
he
here
been.
3 weeks. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
they
that's all
actually
he been
cut him and
doing.
brought him back. But I
Yeah,
don't understand why he hasn't seen the field, especially with his familiarity with this team. That's what's killing me. Then you
different coaching,
have Bertrand out with a concussion. It just doesn't make sense.
different
Yeah.
coaching though, Smitty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You think
And
about it when Rashad was here, Raheem wasn't here,
right.
Jimmy wasn't here, Zach wasn't here, so
yeah, that's true.
at the end of the day, he's technically not like one of their guys. He's just familiar with the scheme, like you said. So
Yeah.
it's just like at the end of the day, like he's got to work his way in. But now you're going to have to put him out there because you don't have the depth at linebacker. And T. Will, what I was going to ask you was, how do you feel about Brandon Dorless? Because with TQ Graham possibly missing, at least possibly missing Sunday's game, and same thing with James Smith Williams. I mean, what are you going to do with the rookie? I mean, I
I,
feel like you got to activate him and give him some snaps.
yeah.
But what do you think?
I mean, unless there's somebody else on the waiver wire we don't know about, which I think you kind of have to. I think you kind of have to do that and see what you got in the youngster. I don't know. So it's a rumor that he doesn't know the playbook, right? Is that the rumor? Is that the scuttlebutt
Like
that
he's
he?
supposed to know, like limited snaps. He's like working his way in. He's progressing. That's what
Yeah,
you're hearing. Fine.
yeah. So I
But
mean,
but
go
but
ahead.
if he doesn't know the playbook, that's a coaching issue. Because as I'm saying, we know Jimmy Lake is inexperienced and it's his first time around. But you got guys like Jerry Gray on the staff who's been around for over 30 years coaching. So you mean to tell me neither one of those guys can get him into the playbook like they're supposed to, helping him in the film room? That just doesn't sound right.
Mm.
Well,
I
I'm
agree.
just saying
It
that's
it
the
doesn't.
scuttlebutt. I don't know how true that is. That's just the gossip that we hear. But I mean,
Definitely.
Right.
let's think about it. Why else would he not? You know what? I'm not going to speculate. Hopefully, we will see him. You know what I mean? Because at this point, we really don't have a choice. I mean, it's either him or some guy that shows up in the parking lot like a couple of minutes before the game. So I think we kind of
And that's not going to happen.
yeah. That
And
I
that's
mean
not going to happen. And then you got to remember, we still don't know how long Rook is going to be out.
right.
He's missing with that ankle injury, so that's another guy you're missing. There it is. You already know, man. It's going to
You
be
know,
that
and,
way of the
and
season.
and this is why I said repeatedly,
Uh oh.
you got to think coming out of the bye week, you got to seriously consider
Jerry
Letting
Gray.
Jerry Gray call the defense and let Jimmy Lake take a back seat, learn a little bit more, and look, you got to do it. I mean, you hate to do it because it feels like you're going back on your word, but at the end of the day, it's what's best for the logo, what's best for the team. And I
That's
think
it.
Jerry Gray taking over the defensive play calling is probably going to be the Falcons' best bet, especially if they're not going to make any more moves. So sometimes you got to let somebody else cook the chicken, even if you're cooking it just right. Because at the end of the day, it's just about winning football games and losing to New Orleans. Like I said, losing to New Orleans put a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm telling y'all, it made me lose a lot of confidence in this team. Just to keep it real with y'all.
I know we're supposed to be serious here, but ever since Big Low has mentioned Krispy Kreme, it's been food narratives, just and analogies, and
Hey,
just I don't know what's
hey,
going
country
on
always
anymore.
make the
We've
show
lost
go
total
sideways
control of
like
this.
that.
We've
Somebody,
lost total control of this show, everybody, and I apologize.
somebody's hungry. That's what it says to me. Somebody's hungry. Look like we need to have a donut bar.
I'm trying
At
to tell you. I told you, man.
next
Ask them if
time.
they got a linebacker that can stop the run, and you know what I'm saying, they can cover the flats. Ask,
They probably can't.
ask
Hey,
them if they got one of those in there.
mm.
Like my goodness,
Miss
but yeah,
Christy Lewis, Lady Birds of AFN, man. Go check out on AFN
check
Lady
'em out.
Birds. She does the show with Miss Maggie and them. And y'all go check them out, man. The Falcon ladies, they know football as well. But go
Definitely.
ahead, Chris.
Yeah, and I was just saying I agree with what you were saying about god darn it,
Oh,
here
Yeah.
comes trouble.
he he in full money mode today.
I'm trying to tell you, but now, man, I want Jimmy Lake to still be on this team, and you know he's because I feel like he's going to be here regardless as long as Raheem is here anyway. So it's like
Right.
at the end of the day, still like give it over to Jimmy Lake, man. Give it over. I mean, excuse me, Jerry Gray, and allow him to kind of like bring you along a little bit more. But we know that's not going to happen, y'all. Let's just go ahead and keep it real. Let's like we like to keep it real, so let's just keep it real. Jerry Gray is not going to take over the defensive assignment from Jimmy Lake. They're going to ride it out with Jimmy Lake mainly because those second half adjustments. Because we don't give up
Yeah,
points
but
in the
but
second
but
half
think
like
about
that.
it, Chris. Is
I,
is
I
is it
know,
really
Smitty.
Jim? Is it really Jimmy Lake that's helping us adjust in the second half,
We don't know.
or is it
It's
Jerry
where's
Gray? We
Waldo?
don't know.
We don't
We
know.
not in there. We not
That
in there. But regardless,
It's
even if it's not,
so
even if
say.
Jerry is behind the scenes, Jerry's going to stay behind the scenes of it, and Jerry's going to stay behind the scenes. Jimmy is going to be in the forefront of it all. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Because he is a defensive coordinator. And I believe like they're not going to make any drastic changes, any drastic moves. And I say that just because of the patterns I'm seeing throughout the season. The things that they're saying in the press conference throughout the season. The way how they're believing in one another, regardless of what we say here on our channels as content creators as a whole. So I just
Yeah,
don't believe that they're going to go back on their word now. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? I want to be wrong, but I'm just looking at the patterns. It's all about just looking at people and their patterns.
hmm
facts. We're gonna welcome our boy CW. He got on his wrestling outfit. He finna body slam somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But before he gets
CW,
to
CW got a championship
before he
match tonight.
Damn right.
before he
Now, I
jumps
tell
in
you
the
what.
chat, man, and starts before he gets to going. Shout out to Christy, man. She said they'll be on AFN tonight. The Lady Birds of AFN on Atlanta Falcon Nation at 8 o'clock tonight. So y'all go check them out. But C Dub, man, tell us what you think about these linebackers and how the
Yes.
Falcon fits.
Terry, I love you. But this is why the Beard Gang is going to get together. We're all going to the watering hole. We're going to drown our sorrows for a while because we're going to call the spades, all right?
Wow.
The only people that showed up to New Orleans was Jack Spade and his crew to bring in the energy because our Falcons decided to go flat. Now, I like to drink my soda fresh. I don't like to drink it flat. Now, our linebackers, our front seven, they're all the same. They all play in mud. And I know, Terry likes to say that's probably their base defense and their scripting, but we've had 10 games and we've always started off bad. And mystical powers of adjustments happen. Guys, I've called football games, all right? Let me clue some people that probably don't know this. There's a whole lot of coaches in the booths, and some maybe on the sideline, but when they get together, they start you can hear they're like, hey, you got to do this, got to do this. And one guy's like, he ain't listening. We're going to have to talk to him at halftime. So I'm hearing this. And because I like to have one can off, one can on, so I can hear especially when we're that close to the, people there. And can you imagine? Look, and I love how everybody, I'm putting this loss on Raheem. And I know a lot of people don't want to do that, but I am, because I feel like he did not take this game seriously. He took it seriously at home, but he did not prepare for this game. He was, key, we got this. Look at us. Look at, we can swag surf. Come on, Kurt, swag surf with me. And then you walked in and got slapped, backhand slap. You didn't even get a full hand slap. You got a pip slap. And my problem I have with it, Terry, the management didn't get players. We said we're going to need something to kind of help. Our depth doesn't look good. What happened in this game? Everybody dropped like fries. By the way, can we now call Troy Anderson injury prone? Because, again, and I said it in the comments, I think they were cooking the books on his injury, because Smitty would say it's day by day, and yet we didn't see him from the game we played the Saints at versus now, and he looked like he can't walk barely.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be our most athletic linebacker.
It's a possibility you should have held him out until after the bye week.
Yeah.
But would it have helped? Because maybe his injury is much worse than we think.
Yeah, I got a feeling he ends up on IR at the end of the day, because it's just not looking good. But the franchise, man, I said it before the season started. Ryan Nielsen was the biggest loss the Falcons had all offseason.
Yeah.
You look at a coach that came in, put in a system in place, and I don't know, and maybe it's just me, but something happened with that front office. Maybe they promised him a job once they got rid of Arthur Smith. I don't know. And two, I'm just saying also, Raheem Morris may have wanted his own guys in, which we see right now. But sometimes, man, like Big Low said, man, they got to do something. And he said Jimmy Lake ain't saying nothing. He got all them strippers in the booth. So,
Lord,
we're gonna take him to court. I'll defend him, and trust me, I'm still gonna prosecute him somehow by defending him. But look, it's gonna be bad. I wouldn't want to be the judge having to watch this mess. But look, I will say this: why did not Raheem get an experienced coach? Because look, you're coming back. This is your second chance, and we've heard Steve Wilkes. We've heard.
We already know.
Yeah, I know.
Because in the beginning,
before
Ra was even hired. No, I'm saying before Ra was even hired, he already knew who he wanted. He already had his guys. He knew he was bringing Zach because they've been talking about it. And then he knew he was going to bring in Jimmy Lake. That was just straight up. Exactly, Big Low. Raheem wanted his boys. That's straight up and down all it is. And I don't know how close we were to losing Jerry Gray, to be honest with you. So it's just like, that's something that I was worrying about. Okay, like we lost Ryan Nielsen, but I'm still not hearing anything about Jerry Gray. Days going by, no Jerry Gray. Then finally we get to Jerry Gray. I don't know how close we were to losing him too. So it's just Raheem at the end of the day wanted his guys though.
There's a great point right here about Chris. I say this all the time. You can't bring your friend to your new job, because guess what?
Thank you.
One day they could take your job, or either they can cost you your job. One or the other.
Raheem doesn't have anybody right now who is going to take his job. Jerry Gray doesn't want the head coaching position. That's what I believe. Second, Jimmy Lake is not a threat to your head coaching position, and neither is
Or
Zach.
Zach. Well, but the other thing is, Chris, don't you want to have somebody that can at least challenge you, that can at least bring
Push you to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed.
You know, if you're having your homeboys and everyone's backing you up, they're going to back you up until
yes, man. I always get you in trouble, don't he?
Yeah, exactly. Because when it's called accountability time, those yes guys are going to be gone, and now you're going to be looking around, going, "Hey, where y'all at?" You know. So I'm sorry, man. My thing is this: I wanted a coach to hold accountability. I thought Rob would do that. But with the coordinators and then we are standing firm, guys. No one has brought this up, but this bravado that Raheem has, it's the same as Arthur Smith because he wouldn't want to budge on what he wanted to do. This is the same with Raheem. Look, I get it. You're a coach. You have that. But the thing is, when it's not working, you better be careful. And like I said, it really stings when you did not show any competitiveness in the game against your rivals. That hurts.
It was mostly in the second half. We got it.
C-Dub.
What up?
You said we should have kept who was our defense coordinator from last year?
Ryan Nielsen.
And you said we should have kept him, right?
I said you should have gotten some. If you were not going to bring Ryan, I was under the standing of get somebody with experience, especially when Steve White was available. Steve Wilkes. So that's the guy I wanted.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Admins of the show. Somebody bring up NFL defensive ranking and tell me where the Jaguars rank. If you guys had to guess, like, where do you think they rank?
I'm going to guess about 28th.
I'm going to say about 27th, 29th, maybe.
No, keep going. Keep going.
They could be next to us.
No. Oh, so we're 20th. No, the Jaguars are last in the league.
They last.
But again, hold on.
I knew they were down there, though.
They are at the height of subtivity.
But again, I'm bringing up the guy that I wanted was Steve Wilkes. I didn't bring. I said if you're not keeping Ryan. So what I'm saying is I was looking at Steve Wilkes because I'm going this, and the reason why I said it, he coached with San Francisco, so he's already coached against he's coached against or coached for the Niners, and after he got done wrong, which he did, and then also remember he coached in the NFC South. And not with that, he's the guy that's coming to our area all the time now to during practices. That's a guy you could have had, and you could have had Jimmy Lake here being a defensive assistant. And then, hey, you know what? If we go on this awesome run and we're doing great, Steve Wilkes gets a job, Jimmy Lake can get promoted. There you go. You've just hooked up your buddy without having to put the spotlight on him. Because, it's funny. We all are saying it, but are we really surprised if the Wizard of Oz curtain gets pulled and we find out it's Raheem and Jerry Gray pulling the strings like a freaking puppeteer on Jimmy Lake in the second half? Oh, Jimmy's making great adjustments. Man, that's something Raheem would do. That's something Jimmy would do. Oh, no! Don't look at us! Look at Jerry!
At the same time, even if it was that, that's still them doing their job, too, at the same time. They have to. But even if he's not up to par, they still going to have to cover them tracks.
Facts.
Yeah,
we're gonna welcome in Mad Mike. He gonna join the conversation.
Mad Mike, what is
these linebackers?
So what's going on, fellas? How y'all
these
doing,
guys.
T. Will,
been telling the truth.
What's going on, Chris?
Mike, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing, brother?
Hey, man. Let us know your thoughts about the linebackers, man. We know you got some.
Oh, y'all got the linebacker play.
Well, I mean, you can talk about whatever you like if you want. I mean,
ooh, the linebacker play. Ooh. Y'all really want my take on that? Y'all really want my take on that? On the linebacker?
Yours, my brother.
Go ahead, brother.
Look, man, they've been absolute trash. Okay, let's keep it real. They've been absolute trash. If it wasn't for Troy Anderson, we wouldn't have no hope. Okay, let's keep that 100% real. That man ain't got no business in the game, and I'm talking about Caden Ellis covering anybody. All right, he couldn't cover my grandma who been dead for over 20 years. Right? Ain't got no business covering no damn body.
I'm sorry.
Let's keep that 100% real. These guys have no, and I love Nate Landman, but I can run faster than him.
Can't cover.
At my age, I can run faster than him.
Hey, man.
These linebackers have been an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Preach.
They have been an absolute disgrace. If it wasn't for Troy Anderson and his athleticism and him being able to show us something, I don't know what it is. Like, for me, a lot of people are putting so much pressure on the defensive line when it comes down to the run defense. But I've been saying something completely different. These linebackers say, and this is we had my boy Johnny Abraham, and he stated a few weeks back that the linebacker play where he saw those guys are getting caught flat-footed. And the more that I look at it, I'm seeing that these guys are just not getting off the spot. They're not recognizing what the offense is doing, and I think that's the biggest issue and concern with this defense. Secondary, man, this secondary is just doing their job. I love what these guys are doing. Of course, we saw a few games where Simmons and Bates, those guys get caught red-handed. But like, look, that happens to DBs. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. But I'm just not seeing anything from the linebackers, and it's not helping the defensive line. And like I said, we know what the issue with the defensive line, but they're not helping the defensive line at all.
Facts.
Agreed.
Facts. Is Frank Bush still the linebacker coach?
I believe. I don't think. I believe. No, I don't think he's the linebacker coach.
Okay, so that's another problem. So we lose Ryan Nielsen, we lose Frank Bush. That's part of your whole cohesiveness right there. And again, it's buddy system and coaching, it never works out. So Raheem dropped the ball with bringing in a veteran guy, and we paying for it right now. Barry Rudd is the linebacker coach. I remember that guy, Alabama. Honestly.
He's a good one though. He's a good one. I like what he's able to give to
under Mike Zimmer's tree.
Yeah. So he brought in JD, but JD Bertrand is dealing with a concussion issue. So I'm not. I give him a pass, but outside of JD, I mean, and Troy, I love Nate Landman, but he's not good for this system. This system with the Atlanta Falcons, you have to have athletes, and that's something that I talked about yesterday. We're missing athletes. I don't think up front is the problem as far as the size and being able to play. I think we're just missing athletes. We just got a bunch of scrubs. Like, these guys can't run. Look, like I said, I can run faster than these dudes, man. I'm in my 40s, bro. Like, what? Like, I can run faster than this. These guys are not athletes. It's a disgrace to look at. These guys cannot win a one-on-one to save their own lives.
Yeah. My knees ain't up to par, so I can't tell that lie. Landman is a 4-3 line.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
43-year-old linebacker. Wow.
He's got 4-3 guys. Rashawn Evans, he's a 4-3 guy. And this is what puzzled me about Rashawn Evans. He's a 4-3 guy, but he showed y'all he can play in a 3-4 a couple of years ago. So what is the problem? I don't get it. Why he's not playing? It doesn't make sense. Player. And Mike, you brought this point up what Country said right here the other day, and it was right on point. Lake, Morris, and Gray are all defensive back coaches, and everybody wants to know why the front seven is struggling, because none of those guys have perfected the defensive line. They're only with the defensive backs, which is why the defensive backs are carrying this defense.
Yes,
hey.
Yeah, well, how do y'all feel about Jay Rogers so far?
Man, oof.
Who?
Yeah, who?
You're talking about the defensive line. He's a gap guy. It's like he's his thing is he develops defensive. Pretty much got. Let's think of a guy like Taquan Graham and Grady Jarrett. He's a 3 tech guy,
Right.
so he's not. His level of expertise is not so much, teaching these guys how to get after the quarterback. It's pretty much building 3 tech. So that's why you have guys like Braden. Um, what's the guy from Oregon? Good God Almighty,
Brandon Dorlus.
Brandon Dorlus, Root, those guys. So he's that's what his level of expertise, and they don't like the thing that I'm saying is they don't have guys that like Chuck Smith that you're not teaching these guys how to be edge. All right. On every kid has been an absolute mess. Like he's been a disappointment. I'm tired of even saying his name. All right. His name is 17 until he learns to do anything. Okay. I'm tired of looking at him. I'm tired of
There
looking
you go.
Last 3 games. He's actually played better the last 3 games. I just think it's continuity.
He has. But he's the reason. He's the reason. Let's keep it real, man. He's the reason why this edge group ain't going nowhere. We have no hope in this edge.
True.
It's
True.
definitely treacherous down there, man. And the thing about it is, you took him so high, and you need him to turn the corner, and it's just like he's just not turning that corner. And it's most of our second and third rounders are just not turning them corners, man. And then you got a fourth rounder that you just got who was highly regarded in pressures, quarterback hits, and just moving them up and down the line. And Brandon Dorlus, and we haven't seen him all season for whatever reason they want to give us. And it's just like now you're getting to the point to where guys are falling apart, and you're having to see exactly what you got anyway. It's just like, bro, it's funny.
And I got a question for the panel.
What you got?
Out of these veterans, it's going to be a lot of moves, and we talked about it earlier in the show. There's going to be a lot of moves this off season. Which veteran do y'all think is most expendable this coming off season?
Grady Jarrett.
We moved to the off season.
Grady Jarrett.
I agree.
Yeah.
I've been saying that.
I love Grady, but you have to think about your future of the defense right now. Right now, we have no future in defense. There's nobody we can build upon. It's nobody. I hate to say that. I really do hate to say it because I love Grady. I want him to retire, but we don't have a future defensively.
There's no clear cut. There's no clear cut cornerstone, and we got to find one. Grady was the cornerstone of the defense, but right now with Jesse Bates with 1 more year, Justin Simmons 1 year deal, AJ Terrell is probably the longest tenured defensive veteran we going to have going forward. So it's just time to restructure the whole defense actually.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got to see who can play, man. Who can't?
Hey, what's David Onyemata's? Can he be cut?
Yes.
Or after? Yeah. Okay.
He and Ellis, both of those guys are eligible. They can come back on the last year of the deal, but it'll be a small as far as the dead cap is concerned. I don't think it'll be no more than $5 million. So he's expendable. Caden Ellis, he's another one of those guys. So this is why at this point in time you have to figure out whether or not Rook or Brandon Doyle is one of those guys or the one that you want to build around. So it's like and like I said, there's nothing against Grady because I think he'll be back, but at this point in time, man, you have to figure out, all right, where are you going at this? Because we don't know what Braden Trice, what he's going to be, if he's going to come back healthy from his torn ACL. So we got a lot of question marks. And it's like offensively, we know we got a lot of studs over there we can build upon. But defensively, we have no idea who we're going to build around.
Yeah, that's facts, though.
Yeah, so
you gotta figure it out and figure it out fast.
That's why next year I'm telling you, talk about it. And I've said it, and I'll repeat myself because y'all know I push the envelope. This is why I see it. You got to go think about trying to get a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby in the offseason. No, we did not get him at the trade deadline because we probably can get them a little bit cheaper in the offseason, depending on, what they're looking at. They may be looking to rebuild. We know Cleveland is because Deshaun Watson's contract is going to cripple them for the next 3-4 years. So you got to go think about making a move for one of those guys because we need a corner. We need a cornerstone. We need it.
Yeah,
Mm.
you do. And you need somebody that can get the quarterback on the ground. Man, I'm so sick and tired of all these quarterbacks coming into the game with clean jerseys and leaving with clean jerseys too. 'Cause we just don't get them on the ground.
Spit in their face or something. Okay, spit on them, call their mama ugly or something. I'm tired of this punk ass shit. I excuse my language, but I'm tired of this punk ass D. We need somebody that's gonna forearm, Brock leather, suplex somebody on the field or something. I don't see anybody with any edge on this defense. Look. I need my defense to somebody to step on that field and say, "All right,
No
I'm
more.
gonna set the tone." We don't have
Right.
a tone setter.
Nope.
I love Jesse Bates, but he's a turnover machine. That's what he is. He's a playmaker. He gonna make plays. But I need somebody dirty, man.
Somebody in
We
them
need
trenches.
somebody dirty.
Somebody with an attitude.
Somebody with an
Somebody if you
attitude.
Yeah,
And
somebody that
let me
shows up and you like, I ain't mess with him.
let me
Yeah,
say this
somebody
right
that they
quick
really
too.
got a game plan for.
Let me say this right quick. The one way I feel like the Falcons turn this thing around, man. Go out and hire former Falcon players that know the city, that have that same type attitude. You have Chuck Smith in Baltimore as the outside linebacker coach. He actually has a pass rush training camp in Atlanta. Terrence Massey shouldn't have had to wait to go to Morehouse to be a coach, to coach
Right.
receivers. I
Right.
mean, it's just so many Atlanta Falcon coaches in the league that have played for the Falcons. They should find a way to bring these guys home. You have a John Abraham right here in the city, can come in and work with these guys, teach these guys the ropes, can help them out. Um, Even when we had Vic Beasley, I talked to him about that. He said no one reached out to him. He felt like he could,
Mm-hmm.
actually, reach out to those guys and see where they're head at and try to, help them turn the corner. So Atlanta
Yeah.
Falcons do a better job of bringing in homegrown talent to help this team. I think that right
Oh,
there could actually help this team. So look,
right.
tell me, am I right or am I wrong?
Debo
Just tell me
vibes.
what y'all
What's
think right
good,
quick.
man? Debo vibes. I'm sorry, man. That ship has sailed. He said, "Bring in John Abraham." That ship has sailed. That thing gone, man.
Shoot.
Yeah, A wants to act now, man. A want to he want to watch his kid grow up, man. I don't
Right.
know if he wants to do that right now.
I don't
Abe
think
looks
it's.
great.
I
He
don't
does
see
good
Yeah.
on
it
TV.
in the future.
Yeah, he's having fun. I had a conversation with him. He's enjoying his kids, man. So I don't know
Oh
if
yeah, he
he's
definitely
ready
doing
for
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, look,
He talks about that
if
all the
any
time.
of our coaches are willing to talk to Chuck Smith and make him a defensive coordinator, oh, please, God, do it.
Yeah.
Because that has always been something he wanted.
Hmm.
Freaking Dan Quinn turned his back on him or, gave him the cold shoulder. Not surprised. Again, here we go with coaches scared of their own shadows. But anyway, um, that's why I said you got to get a guy that, and Chuck Smith has that attitude, has that mindset. I would love to have a guy like him. And he would definitely be someone to watch the defensive line because we're so
He gonna
crowded in the
yeah.
backfield.
Facts.
Yeah.
He will take that personal.
Hey, I can't
Yeah,
disagree
Uche
with
and
that.
Ojulari, both of those guys are potential free agents, but it seems like we spent our third round pick on the wrong person. He's just not looking like Matthew Judah and the one we thought we were getting. He looks like he's out, like Berto said, like he's out of football shape. He's not checked in mentally and really honestly do he want to be here? Because and I know he gets double teamed every play. I get that part,
Yeah.
but
And they run away from him a lot of times too.
you've got to
Yeah.
you've got to work on that technique to get something shaking because
I
If
think
you
the
want that money,
expectation
you
for
should.
Judon was
Yeah.
too high. The expectation
Yeah,
for
again.
Judon was way too high. He was never that great of an athlete to begin with. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
think the thing is, it's like you have to have a system in place for him because he doesn't
Yeah.
have the athleticism. And that's what I'm seeing up front.
personnel.
We just don't have the athleticism. These guys are
Gotta-
very good at being a role player. And I don't want to be disrespectful to Judon because I'm not saying he's a role player, but his athleticism is an elite athleticism. We got a bunch of guys that are just great role
He's
players.
a power
But
rusher.
we need that special athlete up front, and we don't have that.
Don't have it.
You
We
know,
don't have
Mm.
that pinch. We don't have
well,
that pinch
yeah.
to meet at the quarterback, y'all. A lot
Well,
of
I
guys able
thought,
just to escape all the time.
yeah, I thought when we got Judon and you're pairing him with Grady and David, I felt those three were going to get pressure. Someone was going to demand a double team, and someone was going to get off and get cooking. We haven't gotten pressure with Onyemata, from Grady or Judon. So that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm looking at Judon too, but I'm also looking at, man, I thought, we were going to be able to get some kind of pressure. And even when we blitz, it's almost like Mission Impossible to still touch the quarterback.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and if we get a roughing the passer, I'm actually shocked because that means our guy got there.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we got there.
Yeah,
Your
but
mama has just
Flo
been
said, Country say,
bad.
Justin looks like he's checked out. He's giving up on plays. Watch the tape, and I think he's
Man,
talking about Justin Simmons.
Justin
I agree with
Simmons.
that because
Yeah.
I did see him give up on a couple of plays. And Sunday he was out of place a lot because Phillips and
That
AJ Terrell
touchdown
getting
was
beat
on
over the
him.
top. So yeah, he may be checked out, but one season, what can you ask for?
I mean,
Case
okay,
Styles said
okay,
Judon needs that running mate to lure the quarterback to him. I agree
right.
with that, but sometimes you got
Mm-hmm.
to still got to make plays.
Yeah.
Still got
I'm
to
Is,
make
saying
plays.
straight.
is Simmons
What
still
you
hurt?
got?
I know he came back from what he have? Was it a
He had
hamstring?
a hamstring.
Okay, so
Yeah,
maybe
Yeah.
yeah,
maybe it's not that he's checked out. Maybe he's a little hesitant. Because a lot of times these guys come back really as quickly as they can, and
right.
sometimes it's not you're not at 100%. So again, I'm just saying I've never known
Oh,
Semi to check out or that, and again it could be, but maybe since he's coming back from the hamstring, he's a
Yeah,
little.
oh,
I agree.
oh. Country said he meant Judon. He meant Judon. He did mean Judon.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
But
that.
I ain't gonna lie, Justin,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Justin
I
looked
see it.
quite the same.
Yeah.
And you gotta wonder why it took so long for him to sign with a team. Was he complimenting? Was he thinking about maybe retiring? I mean, you just never know at the end of the day, too. But Justin, he hasn't fully like cemented himself. We know his best game was against the Kansas City Chiefs because
Mhm.
he knows them. And
Yeah.
Right.
but
He
Sunday he
picked
did
off he
see him
picked
out of
off his
place.
favorite quarterback.
Right, and I honestly put that touchdown, the one with Valdez Scantley, that's his name, went across the middle. You know what I'm saying? And they used leverage pretty much against AJ Terrell. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Simmons didn't have anybody, and all he had to do was just really, if he would have read and react to that, he could have went ahead and just picked that off and knocked the ball away. But
Right.
I
that's
think
not
that
the
was,
first time you've seen something like that, though.
yeah, Chris, I think there was confusion on that play because on that play they
Yeah.
used, and I think AJ
Right.
got tricked into where he was. And again, it could have been some confusion because they all looked at each other like the Spider-Man meme, like I thought you had it. I thought you had it. So it could have been confusion, right? That second,
Possibility, definitely.
yeah, that second touchdown by Marquez was strictly on Clark Phillips, and I love Clark Phillips, but he got him. You know what I mean?
Actually, AJ Terrell was covering
No,
Scantling because he was right behind Scantling when he caught the ball.
I
It
don't
was
know.
kind of like a third.
Not-
He really wasn't. Yeah, he really wasn't covering. It was more like a third. That's why he was waiting for the
Okay.
safety to do
All right,
that.
no, that's what I was because from what I saw the pictures of, but
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to figure out. All right, no, I'm glad someone's cleared that up because I was still wondering. So everybody So everybody in the secondary got burnt toast. That's what I was just trying to figure out.
Because Clark Phillips came in for Hughes. I'm not talking about the one over
Right.
the middle. I'm talking about the one up the sideline. That was all Clark. That
Yeah,
was all.
that's what I know. What
Yeah.
you're talking about, too, Will.
Yeah, that was
Oh
all.
yeah, that one. Ooh.
Yeah, that was just burnt toast. So nothing you can do about that. But hey, man,
Coaching.
yeah.
Coach.
So look it. I mean, could it be better? Yeah. It could be better. But guys, if we figure this thing out, we still got a shot. Now, and again, what concerns me about this team in general is there are moments when the pressure's on where we forget who we are as a team and we make silly mistakes because the pressure's on. And sometimes that just comes from trusting in each other and playing with each other long enough to know, hey, it's going to be all right, right? Like we pulled it out of the Eagles, although we were lucky.
They
We
don't
pulled
know who
it out.
they are.
Yeah, well, correct.
I don't think the Falcons know who they are at this point. It's identity.
No.
It's like you can't expect these guys to have it figured out defensively up front within a year. Like these guys have not been together a year. So a lot of this is why our expectations for this defense is a bit too high. I actually think Raheem is doing a wonderful job. Putting these guys in position. To just have an identity here right now, but like up front, they don't have an identity of who's going to be what in each situation, and that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. Like you say, it's been a year. Some of these guys just met this year. They're still figuring out. And look, when you play next to somebody, it takes time. You can see the difference between our offensive line and our defensive line because these guys have been together for 3-4 years. You can see it, right? You can see the continuity. You can see it. What I want to throw out there, and if you guys discussed this before, I don't know. So if you did, I apologize. I did join late. We got to talk about Koo if we haven't already. We got to talk about it.
Hit the road, Jack. Hey, sorry. I was just listening to one of my songs. I was just playing one of my songs on my workout record. I'm sorry, my bad.
Not going anywhere.
Oh man,
you're not going anywhere.
I'm not saying
I'm with Smitty, man. If you looking at Koo is the reason why we lost a game, we already made a huge mistake. Like a kicker shouldn't be kicking 5 field goals to begin with anyway.
Bingo.
So we kicking 5 field goals. That's a problem within itself that nobody's talking about. We need to be scoring 6. Okay, we need to be scoring touchdowns.
Thank you.
If my kicker had more than 3 field goals a game, I'm mad as hell. I want touchdowns.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I want hair. It's not coming back. You're not going to 6 touchdowns in every game. It's not even realistic. Look, I understand what we're saying, and yes, our offense did fall short. But guys, I got to be honest. This is on Coop, okay? And what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about getting rid of him. I'm talking about what's going on with his delivery, right? So there was an article.
Well, he's trying a new kicking style for one. He's
Exactly.
some more straight line.
It's a lot of fundamentals.
That's the problem. So I talked to a kicker friend of mine probably a couple of hours ago. We were talking about this. This really bothered me because we've been seeing this with Koo this entire season. This is nothing new.
That's a timing issue. I believe it's a timing issue. That's what I'm saying.
And to your point, Mad Mike, he said this. He's rushing up to kick the ball. So when you're the way the process was explained to me is the ball is snapped, head down, set your plant foot, kick the ball, head up, see it through, make sure your hips don't go forward, right? If you're running, and the way it was explained to me is the reason he changed this style, I think he did it last year, was that it gave him greater distance. But and you guys can go back and look at the replays or whatever. He doesn't know where the ball's going. Like on that last one, you can see him like, because he doesn't know where the ball's going. So what I want to pose to the council is A, do we bring in somebody to compete with him? Or B, do we get him with his kicking coach and maybe another, and let's get back to basics? What do you guys say?
Zach Robinson need to call better damn plays in the red zone.
Oh my God!
Stop ignoring Bijan Robinson.
I'm with Smitty, man. I got a problem.
Hold on. Bijan Robinson was cutting up them Saints, and then also get at a certain half point in the field, we go, all right, guys, let's go 3 wide attack. Woo!
Yeah, that
we can't even get the ball on the floor. I mean, come on. I mean, look, hold on. And you want to know how to help Koo? Here's how you help Koo. You give him some milk. You give him some cookies. And you pat him on the head. You go, are you feeling better now? Okay, try it again. Oh, we lost another game? It's okay, Koo. Did you have fun? No, we're trying to win championships. Stop trying to coddle the boy. He's not going to cry. Lord.
But C-Dub,
I'm going to steal his kicks next week.
C-Dub.
Who's out there? Like we can sit up here and say who we can replace him, but
yeah, I know that. I'm saying
we gonna bring Morton Anderson back. Like who the hell is out there?
We got goggles.
4 games, then he's lost those games.
Okay, has he won championships? How many championships? How many division titles?
The thing about it is, okay, but my thing is, you're going to get rid of a guy that can help you win those.
Hold on.
Get rid of them.
I'm saying this. You got to bring someone in to make sure to get his head right. You got to bring some competition. If he's a competitor and he could get his head right, he could kick the ball and get us some points. By the way, this is a make or miss league. You miss, your job shouldn't be guaranteed. Sorry. I mean, come on. I'm not going to argue over a kicker.
Let me ask you guys. So the Patriots' first 3 Super Bowls, what was the margin that they won by? Can anybody tell me that?
3.
They were all last second field goals, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So kickers matter.
They don't. You could get another kicker. I'm sorry, Terry. You could go get another kicker. But if you want milk and cookies and make sure Koo feels better about himself, get him a nice pedicure, fix his toenails. You can do that. It's good, man. I get it.
Give him a $40. Never mind. Look, he'll be sure you get him a $40 holler. Look, taking the Magic City, give some.
Yeah, exactly. No. Mike,
Something has to happen.
Mike, I cut off his Magic City privileges because I want him to know if you're going to be in my team, you need to win me games. You don't lose me a game like that. You are exit out of Magic City. Arthur Blake says so. That's what I would do.
I don't have a problem with anybody. My thing is, man, Koo has done more positive for us than he done negative. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Facts. But we got to end this show, man. I hate to end it, but I got to roll.
Yes,
but before we get out of here, as always, man, please tell everybody where to find y'all. I'm going to start with C-Dub, and we're going to go around from C-Dub to Mike to T-Will to Chris.
All right, cool. Well, actually, within about 20 minutes, I'm going to be on myself with Terry, and we're going to be having Ron and Ladarius, I believe, on the show. Okay. We're going to have the watering hole is open. Because this is the first time on my show that we've had to discuss a loss. So, especially one that's so flat. So I decided we got a watering hole ready. So we're going to drink our sorrows. The Falcons been drinking, especially after hearing the Raheem speech. And, but yet he still was hanging out at the Club Med. But anyway, so find us on YouTube channel C28. Love to have everybody who's on. And Mike, I don't have any information from you, so I will send it to Smitty. And if Smitty wants to send it to you, you can come on too. And we're going to discuss the Saints loss, but we're also going to preview the Broncos, how we don't need one loss to become 2, especially right before the bye week. Let's try to have a big time excitement going into this game, trying to win this game and be 7-5. And I'll also discuss how this team is not 2016 because I keep hearing people tell me this is a 2016 style team. So we'll do that. Don't go in too hard. Come on, Big Low. You know me. I'm going to go in as hard as I can. I'm going to break the wall like the Shockmaster did when he first came out.
Break the wall down!
And with that, C-Dub is out. Thanks, Smitty.
No problem, C-Dub.
Appreciate you.
Mike, tell them where to find you, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate everybody for joining. Smitty, like I said, man, you can find us everywhere. Man, Mike Sports, the heavy hitters, Atlanta Falcon Nation. And we want to cordially invite everybody, anybody that's not going to the game for the away games. We have a watch party that we have every away game. So every away game, y'all just want to come out and chill, have a drink or whatever the case, you can check us out at the playground on Roosevelt Highway. You can hit me up for the directions. Just just come sit, have a beer or whatever. Have some wings. We got food. We got all types of stuff. So just come and hit us up, man. And like I said, we truly appreciate about it for continuously supporting not only Mad Mike Sports, Six Man K Style, Jew Talk Sports, Smitty, T Will, hey man, we truly appreciate it, man. Everything is about the fans. All right. We are nothing without the fans. So that's all I gotta say about that. Appreciate you, Smitty. Appreciate
No
Tip,
doubt.
T Will. I'm out of here, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you,
Sir.
man. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Sir.
T
T.
Will, where
Will.
we gonna find you, man?
Yes, sir.
Besides in front of them video monitors.
Well, hey, first and foremost, gentlemen, thank you for having me. As always, I appreciate you, Smitty. I appreciate you, Chris. A1. You can find me at One Time for the Fan on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m., Friday mornings at 9 a.m. You can find me on my channel at the number 4, my ATL Sports 1, the number 1, at YouTube. I'm typically there Friday evenings at 7 p.m. Sundays after the game every now and then if I'm not too disgusted if we didn't lose too bad. Because last Sunday I couldn't even do it. I was so disgusted. Like I had to.
Yeah. T. Will was on one.
You guys ever like be like just so agitated that you're like, I don't need to go on the air today. Like I was just
Rex.
I would have been banned. Big Low said how 285 is looking. Oh, let me take it out. It sucks right now, Big Low. It sucks right now. Yeah, wait.
Definitely. It's 512. You better believe it.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you guys ever have like an issue where like you got so much angst and anger, whatever. It's not good for you to be on the air. So anyway, most times after the game, you can catch me on For My ATL Sports 1 at 5 p.m. And we do a Monday morning show where we recap the Falcons and just recap stuff going on in sports at For My ATL Sports 1 again on YouTube. And by the way, little nugget, Chris, you'd be interested in this. Travis Darno signed with the Angels.
Yep, 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
Okay.
But I just got some more
straight
breaking
forward.
news.
What
I
you got?
just heard T Will put ADT out of business. But Chris,
That ain't
tell
no-
him
that
brother
ain't no
we
cap.
find you, man.
That ain't no cap, boy.
Oh,
T. Will don't put them out of business, and them folks gonna be coming for you. T. Will, you better believe it. All right, but yeah, man. A1 Forever Sports, that's a platform on YouTube, man. Please come through, like, comment, subscribe, man. Come have a football, baseball, or basketball conversation, as we do all three over there. Always be generational because it's always time to be in, man. Make sure y'all find y'all peace today. Twitter, Instagram, A1 Forever, the real A1 Forever. If you're on TikTok, like I said, man, follow me on all platforms, man. Just appreciate all the support and all the love. YouTube, we just crossed over 3,500 on the supporters. So
about.
we just moving, man. We just growing.
That's what I'm talking about.
man,
Y'all know where to
sir.
find me, man. Find me on YouTube at Smitty Sports Machine. Find me on Twitter at FatBoySlam_21. You see it right there on the screen. Catch me tonight at 7 o'clock, man, on the NFC South Round Table. I might take some punches tonight, but I'm gonna fight back because y'all know how I do. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, catch me, Chris, and Alberto on our new platform on Roundtable Sports, man, at 9 p.m. With our boy Kel, Mr. Bro Talk from TikTok, as y'all know him. We're gonna give y'all the preview for the Falcons and the Broncos. And before I get out of there, man, Big Low get on my nerve because now I gotta go get some Krispy Kreme donuts. But for my boy Chris, my boy T Will, and everybody that joined to this show, we gonna holler at y'all later, man. Peace.